The update 10.4.9 for Final Cut added a number of smaller features, and in this video I'd like to cover 6 of my favourites. You can now display and sort by the last modified date. There's a new drop-down timeline menu. You can now delete data from a single file as well as events and projects. There's a new timeline appearance option. You can create smaller proxy files, and there are new project options. I'm Bruce Macbryde, and my goal is to improve your knowledge and to speed up your workflow in Final Cut. In the description below, you'll find timestamps that will take you to different parts of this video. YouTube is a great place to start to learn Final Cut, but what you'll find is that your questions won't get answered immediately in a pre-recorded video. So save time searching through YouTube for those pre-recorded videos. I can provide you personal tuition. Please click the link. So let's look at the new sort option. If we go to the list view in the browser, click on the top bar and you can see last modified here. If you select that, you can see now it's a source here. Select on that and change the order. So at the moment, the oldest is showing at the top and now the newest is showing at the top. The new drop-down menu has a feature that I've long wanted in Final Cut, and that's the ability to close projects that are in your timeline. In the past, I've been frustrated by projects that stick in the timeline. They get in the way, they clog up your other options. And it seems that Final Cut has a mind of its own as to which ones it wants to keep in there and which ones it wants to drop off. So this new feature gives you the ability to at least drop them off, even though it would be nice if you could pin some projects into the timeline so that you know they're always there. And in fact, if I had my way, I'd like to drop the whole concept of the previous and next feature and just have a drop-down menu that shows all of the open projects in one place. But this is what's new in 10.4.9. If we click on the little downward arrow next to the project name, you can see here you can close the current project, which would take it out of the timeline. So I'll double click it again and bring it in. And you can see close other timelines is grayed out because there aren't any others. So if I open another project into the timeline here now, double clicking it, and look here, now we can close the current one and close any other. We could completely close all projects in the timeline except for the last one, and even close all projects in the timeline. Also in the drop-down menu, you could duplicate a project. Well, I'd suggest you probably wouldn't be doing this because I feel that snapshot is a much better process than duplication. You can reveal the project in the browser by selecting that there. It shows that project directly in the browser. And you can also select the project properties. And when you do that, it opens up the inspector and shows you the properties on the right-hand side. Another of the new features is the ability to delete the generated data in just a single file. Where in the past you've been able to do this with events and projects, you can now select a single file. So let's select this one here and come to the file menu, and you can see here you can delete generated clip files. If we were selected on an event and come to the same one, you can see that we can delete generated event files. And also if you were on a library, then you can see you can delete generated library file. There's a new option in the timeline appearance menu. You can see that the icons are somewhat brighter than they were before and more obvious. These are the same as they were before. So this one here shows you just the audio wave files. This shows you a little bit of video and more wave files. This shows you a mix of both. So a little smaller on the wave files. This shows you less wave files. There are no WAV files, just the video. And finally, this is the new one, the thumbnail, which will show you only thumbnails. And of course, you can increase or decrease those. The thing that I would have liked to have seen change here is that when you create a new project, and if we pop over here and create a new project, go to the appearance setting, it always comes at this setting. And there's no way to set the default on any particular one that you would like to have. With that said, of course, if you have a project open in the timeline and you look in your settings, it will have remembered the last settings that you had. So if I changed it to this one here, which is my preference, at this adjusted height, when I reopen Final Cut after quitting it, it will have remembered this setting. It would be nice to set that as a default for all new projects. However, the default is this selection here. One of the other smaller features is in the preference file. So if we go to preferences here and we select import, we now notice that you can import and create a proxy file by ProRes Media or H.264. I would stick to ProRes Media, but with that said, an H.264 proxy file will be a lot smaller in size than a ProRes file. Depending whether it's ProRes proxy or H.264 proxy, what is new and is beneficial is that you can decrease the size of those files as well. So you can have a really small size at 12.5 and still be using ProRes Media, which is easier for Final Cut to edit. And the final feature for this 10.4.9 update that I'd like to talk to you about in this video is the revised option here of choices when you right click on a project. You can play the project in the timeline, and what this will do is it will start the project playing. So that plays the project from the point in the timeline where it was last selected. The second option, to open the project, simply opens it, which is the same as double clicking the project. And then you also have in here the duplicate project as, and the snapshot of the project. And my previous video covered these choices. Click the eye above to go to that video. And also you can share a project here. So this is a shortcut to the normal share, and you can move a project to the trash. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for your support, and thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and press the bell.